Hi everyone, my name is Skyler Ataide. My final video for Linguistics 36, I'm going to be addressing you, the students of Linguistics 36, and in particular, the people in my section. That's who I will be addressing. For my research project, my plan is to study the lyrics of popular hip-hop/rap songs from the iTunes Top 100, but one thing I want to point out is that I don't want to limit my research to just the hip-hop and rap genre, because African American English has found its way into the music industry in a variety of different ways, dating all the way back to the 50s, as my TA Jasmine pointed out. And so the goal for my project is to gain a greater understanding of what forms of African American English are used by top musicians today and how these lyrics resonate with their listeners. One of the key components of my research project is how exactly I plan on gathering data and analyzing it. One of the primary ways in which I plan on doing this is by looking for certain pronunciation of words or phrases that most frequently come up in different song lyrics, or ones that have been used in the past and are still used in present day. I believe that by doing this, one should be able to gain a greater understanding of the prevalence of African American English in the modern day. I strongly feel that this project can be very valuable to the study of African American English, because this project has a great potential to reflect modern trends in African American English, as well as support the ideas and concepts that we have learned so far in our Linguistics 36 course. Another key component of my research project is the fact that African American English remains prevalent in everyday language. And through my project, I hope that it'll become very evident that this is in fact the case. One quote that I want to pull out from my literature review comes from author John Rickford, when he makes the statement, "Bear in mind that language is an inescapable element in almost everyone's daily life, an integral element of human identity. If for that and no other reason, we would all do well to heed the still evolving truth of the Black language experience." I chose this quote because I strongly believe that what author John Rickford was trying to say here is that we can't ignore one form of language and choose to listen to another form of language when they all hold equal value. Getting more into the logistics of my research project, I don't only want to look for certain phrases or pronunciations that are found in both the music industry today and in African American English, but I also want to look for just more subtle, under the surface forms of African American English that we have covered so far in class, and that can be found in music dating as far back as the 50s and 60s.
Tell you, evening sun is sinking low. The clock on the wall says it's time to go. I got my plans, I don't know about you.
So that was a song titled "Good Times" by African American musician Sam Cooke. That song was actually written in the 1960s. And as you can see, the prevalence of African American English exists in songs dating all the way back to the 50s and 60s. Sam Cooke uses lines such as, "I got my plans," and this song was a hit song back in the 60s. I believe that Sam Cooke does a great job of getting his point across without having to use what is deemed proper English. He says, "I got my plans." It's pretty clear what he's trying to say, and he gets his point across. So to sum up my research project to the class and to my audience, I want to just get across some of the key points that African American English is not only limited to specific words or phrases in context of my project, because some modern day rappers and some musicians may actually change these pronunciations just to make their words rhyme with other lines. So I'm going to be specifically looking for and targeting forms of African American English which we have covered so far in Linguistics 36, and that have been around and show up in music dating back to the 50s and 60s. And I want to try to tie it all together and see which forms of African American English have the greatest prevalence in the music industry.